For my English ISU, I decided to compare the two novels, The Handmaid's Tale and The Great Gatsby, and decided to analyze this through a Marxist lens. Wealth and power have significant influence at both an individual level as well as a societal level. The Handmaid's Tale and The Great Gatsby illustrates that economic and social class of an individual greatly influences the outcome of one's behavior and actions, as wealthy people are able to avoid taking responsibility for their actions. On the other hand, economically and socially disenfranchised people are often punished disproportionately and held responsible for crimes that they cannot control. The Handmaid's Tale is set in a dystopian society where a totalitarian regime has overthrown the pre-existing government. In this new society, people are segregated by a rigid social hierarchy, which is illustrated by a distinct dress code. Particularly, women's roles have been restricted severely, as illustrated by the handmaids whose sole purpose is to produce children for privileged class couples. In The Great Gatsby, a young man named Nick Carraway moves from Midwest to Westlake, Long Island, where the new rich reside. His new neighbor is a man named Gatsby who lives a luxurious lifestyle and holds extravagant parties to impress Daisy, Nick's cousin who lives in Eastlake, where the old rich reside. The two have an affair until Daisy's husband Tom discovers. After being involved in a hit-and-run accident, Gatsby is blinded by his love and takes responsibility for Daisy, which ultimately results in Gatsby's death. Through these novels, it is demonstrated that the reckless behaviors of high-class individuals lead to little to no repercussions because they have the wealth and power to avoid consequences. Furthermore, it is illustrated that lower-class individuals face disproportionate reprimands for their shortcomings. Thus, it can be argued in a Marxist lens that the governing system is set up in favor of people who possess more power and wealth in a class-based society akin to those in these two novels. In The Handmaid's Tale, as well in The Great Gatsby, it can be observed that higher-class individuals are not burdened with the consequences of their careless actions because they are protected by their wealth and power. In the novel The Handmaid's Tale, the commander provides Fred a feminine outfit, permission to apply makeup, and Serena Joy's cloak to mask her true identity as a handmaid. Fred successfully enters the legal party, and she observes that the wealthier and higher class divisions within society are not necessarily following the laws within Gilead. She notes, "I look around me again. The men are not homogeneous as I first thought. Over by the fountain there's a group of Japanese in lightish gray suits, and in the far corner there's a splash of white Arabs in those long bathrobes they wear, the headgear, the striped sweatpants. It's a club, I say. Well, that's what we call it amongst ourselves. The club. I thought this sort of thing was strictly forbidden." Despite the laws implemented within the state of Gilead prohibiting any individual to act based on their own free will and take part in a club, it is demonstrated here that the bourgeoisie, members of the upper class such as the commander and the wives, disregard the rules, showing less concern for the possibility of negative consequences. This indicates that within a class-based system, the commander's wives and individuals of a higher class do not feel the same intensity of fear which is implemented into the mindset of the oppressed people or lower-class individuals within society. Thus, when misbehaving, they are less anxious or guilty due to their affluence, and there is no mention of anyone being reprimanded for partaking in such illegal activities. Similarly, in the novel The Great Gatsby, individuals of a higher class have access to the resources necessary to neglect the implications for their actions. Daisy kills Myrtle in a hit-and-run accident and flees from the Eastlake after Gatsby is killed by Myrtle's husband. Nick attempts to call Daisy after Gatsby's body is found. However, she and Tom had gone away early that afternoon and taken baggage with them. Here it is evident that Daisy avoided facing the repercussions of her actions by disassociating herself with Myrtle's death and allowing Gatsby to take the blame on her behalf. Daisy and Tom utilized their money to relocate and escape the aftermath. This demonstrates that individuals of a higher class, including Daisy and Tom, are more than willing to use money to avoid taking responsibility for the crimes that they committed and feel no guilt in doing so. Consequently, the novel suggests that wealth grants individuals the privilege of living in a world without the burden of responsibilities and consequences. Thus, the depictions of the privileged class in both The Handmaid's Tale and The Great Gatsby illustrates that within a class-oriented society, upper-class individuals bear a disproportionately light amount of willingness to adhere to the rules of society. On the other hand, individuals who are of a lower class are punished to unreasonable extents, even when their shortcomings are not their own faults. The Handmaid's Tale illustrates women's primary role in society as childbearing by describing how the handmaid will be allowed to nurse the baby for a few months. Then she'll be transferred to see if she can do it again with someone else who then needs a turn. But she'll never be sent to the colonies. She'll never be declared unwoman. This quote indicates that not only does Gilead burdens only women for childbearing, but that it also punishes women who cannot fulfill this responsibility. This is unfair as a handmaid's fertility is uncontrollable and men shoulder absolutely no responsibility in the matter. The fact that handmaids may be punished by being sent off to the colonies for a shortcoming for which they cannot be held responsible illustrates that the disenfranchised populations are prone to discriminatory measures and disproportionate reprimands in society. Similarly, Fitzgerald illustrates that the members of the lower class are often at a greater disadvantage when they do commit a wrongdoing. During a party, Myrtle insists on saying Daisy's name, repeating, "Daisy, Daisy, Daisy, I'll say it whenever I want to," and in response, Tom broke her nose with his open hand. Although she should be responsible to a certain extent for her taunting and inflammatory behavior, it is evident that when the situation became violent, nobody stopped Tom from hitting her or attempted to come to her defense, even when she was being punished to a disproportionate degree. In both novels, it is clearly illustrated that not only are lower-class individuals held responsible for crimes for which they are not truly responsible, but are also punished much more harshly with no one willing to defend them. Therefore, it is indicative that individuals who do not possess an abundance of wealth and power do not have room for flexibility in avoiding their consequences and are held more liable than their richer counterparts. In modern society, social injustice occurs and will continue to persist because certain individuals can utilize their wealth and power to buy privileges while others cannot. The novels The Handmaid's Tale and The Great Gatsby demonstrates that in a class-based society, individuals of a higher social status can access any means, whether it be money or power, to avoid the repercussions of their actions. On the other hand, both novels also suggest that individuals of a lower class can be held accountable and suffer from their decisions or actions beyond a reasonable degree simply because they lack the resources that higher class individuals possess. Therefore, it can be argued that the governing system is biased and benefits those of a higher social standing.